Shaun, how are you feeling today?
I'd say good, apart from knee pain, shoulder pain, wrist pain,
That's
but
quite the list.
quite good overall.
You just came back from a European competition, right?
Yes, European Small Nations in Luxembourg.
All right, how was it?
Um, was battling through some injuries pre-comp, but considering the injuries, I think we did quite well. As male, we came in third. So male team Malta placed in third, so we got bronze right after Iceland, and Iceland came in second or first, and then Cyprus, and then us third.
Okay. And you were a team of?
The teams were variant, so obviously we had the youths apart, so female youth, male youth, and then we had the seniors. The seniors was females and males, so we were quite mixed. As a team overall, we came in fourth, but as males, we came in third.
Right. Very interesting. I've never been into championships or anything of this sort, so it always intrigued me from outside looking in. But I was never in a situation where I had to compete on a national scale or an international scale, not even on European, obviously. What got you into this sport, Shaun?
Initially, when I started with CrossFit.
Okay.
A gym opened right next to my house back then, literally door to door. And I always tried to go to gyms, but gyms never worked out for me. The normal gyms. I used to go try different memberships in different areas, but never stuck to it. But I did a month or two at this gym. I was horrible at the sport.
CrossFit?
I was horrible in general. I used to die with an 8-kilo kettlebell. I stopped for a month, and then I kind of missed it, so I went again. And since it was still a brand new gym, most of the sessions used to finish up 1-to-1, because you're still building up his clientele back then. And I got stuck to it. I started to enjoy it. Slowly, I started to get better. I've never had skipped a rope before. I used to try skip a rope, get all tangled up, just with one jump.
It's not as easy as it seems.
No, but bit of patience here and there, and you'll get there.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes a lot of patience, a lot of persistence, but you'll get there. And then obviously we moved, we got a bigger gym, and I got interested to actually go abroad and do my level 1 certification to become a coach. Mm-hmm. And from there I even got more interested into CrossFit, into the sport. But obviously CrossFit is a general sport. It has gymnastics, it has cardio, it has weightlifting. And believe it or not, the thing I used to love to do most was weightlifting.
Surprise.
Surprise.
I thought you were going to say gymnastics.
I mean, listen, gymnastics is very, very interesting. It's not the gymnastics you would see in a gymnastics gym, but it's very interesting. There's a lot of technique, a lot of strength involved in it, but obviously everyone has their own section within the sport they will enjoy more. And I used to enjoy mostly the weightlifting part, until one day I got offered, I got asked why not compete in weightlifting, and obviously back then I was like, me compete in weightlifting. I actually, at the end of the day, I went.
What got you?
I did a competition in CrossFit in UK back then, and the excitement of competing, I had placed around 20th from around 40 athletes. It's not like top 10,
Right.
but just the atmosphere of actually competing against people you've never met and everyone cheering you around, just the sense of competition was fun.
Okay.
So I said, it's a local competition, nothing to lose, I go for it. I went for it, and it's a bit different, weightlifting. You train for months and months at end, and the competition, it consists of just 6 lifts. If you fail just your first 3 or your last 3, you lost the whole competition, because you need 1 of each. But obviously I enjoyed it. It gave me a thrill. And the fact is that I'm not going to say I'm Olympic standard strong, but I was strongish, So I said, with my shitty technique, horrible technique, I managed to get there. What if I better my technique? So I started working more on the technical parts of weightlifting. The more I worked on it, the better I got. I competed again locally, and I did a huge jump because obviously I worked a lot on my technique. And then the second competition got me completely hooked, to the point that I've started literally cutting off CrossFit completely and just focusing purely on the weightlifting part. And I think it was after my third local competition, I got asked to go abroad, represent Malta for the first time in San Marino.
Okay.
And that's just like, if I was hooked before, then I was like, I'm done. I love this.
What changed in Shaun throughout that period of time?
I found like that missing part. I do believe in general some kind of exercise you need to do. Whether if it's running, running is not for me. I don't like run. I don't like to run. I don't like to do cardio, but I appreciate the fact for people who run marathons. I do believe that one physical thing in your life you should have. The body needs to be physical. It needs exercise, and whatever sport you choose, it needs that one thing. And me trying all the different gyms in the past was me trying to find that thing. I played football when I was really young for almost 10 years, but I never truly, let's say, enjoyed it. I'm not going to say I didn't enjoy it. I enjoyed it. I went abroad to Bulgaria playing football back in the day, but I would never compare myself to the joy I get when I go compete nationally now. It's completely different. And that even the community was new friends, new family. It's amazing. And even when you compete abroad, this competition, Luxembourg, I met some athletes who I met back then. This is 7 years ago. And they recognized me. They came, we spoke, good to catch up. It's nice. Some people, I've competed against people back then that today are Olympic athletes, like massively, amazingly good athletes. And back then, I competed against them. It's amazing. It's such a journey. It got that extra oomph that kind of I needed, I would say. I loved it.
Very interesting. So, yeah, what changed within you?
I think in me personally,
what did you have to change and be flexible in adopting in order to adopt that kind of mindset?
In general, I would say nothing changed, but when you actually look at the bigger picture from outside, you realize a lot of things changed. Why a normal training session of weightlifting will not take you 1 hour. You need to warm up, even building up the weight to the actual sets you need to do takes time. So even to find the schedule to actually start spending even more time in the gym, the gym kind of became the second home, because after a day of work, sometimes I change at work before I leave and I go straight to the gym, and it takes a lot of time. So I would say even just the general lifestyle I used to live changed in general. I used to go home and relax, watch TV. I never was the PlayStation kind of person, but I would chill at home, go on my computer, anything. Now I'm spending hours at the gym. Do your session. Good, it was fun, Okay, what are we gonna do? I have just 1 rep max your back squat today. Let's go for it for fun, It's different. Even nowadays that I focus a bit more on coaching, it's the whole lifestyle itself. Even though the things you eat, maybe I started to consider them a bit more. I don't really put eating the priority, meaning I'm focused on measuring my food, but I'm a bit more careful than I was before. Because at the end of the day, I need to be a bit healthier, stronger for all the weightlifting I do. But yes, I'd say in me, it's my life in general changed after that. After my first competition abroad, that's it. That's new chapter.
And it still feels like it's the first competition that you're going when you're competing, or
You know, I've competed in so many times nationally for the national team of Malta. I've went to UK, San Marino many times. I've went to Rome, Switzerland, Luxembourg now. I've been to Cyprus. And every time when I come to the competition, I say, oh my God, my heart starts racing. I start getting excited, and I start talking to myself, and I go like, why am I getting excited so much? It's not like my first competition, you know, but still, until you actually get to your warm-up, start warming up, and then when you get your barbell, start loading a bit of weights, and then that's it. That's when your mindset go switched on. But prior to that, I get this. Sometimes I say like, I don't think I've ever felt this excited. I feel that every time it's like an extra level of excitement, especially when it's a team event. Some competitions are individuals, some competitions are team. Team, it's a bit more pressure, because even news-wise, it's either Shaun representing Malta came in third, or Malta came in third. It's a big difference. So it's not like nationals are coming up in 3.5 weeks. I'm going to go there, I'm going to compete for Shaun, I'm going to compete for myself, I'm going to try to get the national title again. You know, so I go all out. When I was abroad, it's even the pressure, you know, it's like, if I'm going to fail this, I might ruin the whole team.
Yeah.
It's different, you know, the pressure is different, the slight anxiety of before, the excitement, the adrenaline, it's all...
How do you regulate your emotions?
Ooh. How do I regulate my emotions? It's a good question. I try to... So, I use a lot of like music before. So, pre-comp, like before I actually start warming up, I try to keep myself a bit hyped, you know, some motivational videos, a bit of pumped up music. But then when I actually start lifting and in between sets, it's much more calming music, believe it or not. A few weeks ago, I was joking around with some members in the gym, and they were like, oh, like, put your music on. And I go like, guys, I don't think you're going to like my music. You know, and they go like, what do you mean? And it's like, guys, I'm listening to opera right now. And they go like, you're squatting heavy. How are you listening to opera? And I say like, I don't need that like pump in my head. I need my head calm, so the pump is in my body. I don't know if it makes sense. It's just like I try to keep myself calm. The weightlifting, it's a very technical sport. So you need to be technically on point. If you push the barbell a bit too far out, you're going to drop a weight. If, I don't know, you push the bar a bit forward, you're going to drop the weight. You know, if your elbows don't lock straight away, you're going to get no rep for elbow, for pressing. So if you're not focused, you can't just go like, obviously it's full on strength, but you can't just, I don't know, like for example a squat, you just start down up. That's it. But no, there's a lot like tightening your shoulders. I feel that I need to be a bit more focused. So I need to calm my mind to like focus on what I have to do. So I would say I try to pump myself up to like not get that like anxiety before, but then once I start warming up, I try to calm my mind.
What do you tell yourself just before the lift?
Oh, what do I tell myself before the lift? So before the lift, it depends on the lift.
Okay, all right.
Because I repeat certain things like what I need to do. Because if I start to think, this weight's too heavy, I'm going to fail it, you know, I'm going to push forward. No, I kind of manifest that, I feel like. So what I do is I repeat, like if it's a snatch, I go like I need to keep my shoulders tight, I need to keep the bar close, strong punch, and then the rest will follow. So I keep repeating myself. If I know that I've been suffering because I've been pushing the bar out, I might be saying like barbell close, keep the barbell close, keep the barbell close, keep the barbell close, keep the barbell close. And I literally, sometimes even in the gym, obviously where I train, people got used to me. But it's not the first time. If someone's brand new, he doesn't know who I am, they probably think I'm a psycho. Why? Because I got earphones in my ear, and then Maltese, I'm going like, barbell miak, ijbet miak. People go like, what, is he okay? Like, is he having, like, I don't know. Yeah. But yes, it depends. Or else, like, tighten your core, strong pull, high pull, as high as you can. And I repeat it just to keep my mind focused on what I have to do next. Block everything else. In weightlifting, you have literally 3 referees staring at you right in front of you. So you can't kind of be intimidated by them, you know, because obviously they're there waiting for a slight elbow twitch, or I don't know, we have so many small regulations, like when dropping the bar, you need to drop the bar below your chest level. You can't just let it go from above your head because you get no rep. So you need to be well focused. So before a lift, I kind of like repeat what I need to do next.
Okay. So it feels like you're going to the bare minimalist kind of communication.
Yes, just focusing on that one single next step, one step at a time.
All right. And then, because you mentioned this as well, the rest will follow.
The rest will follow, yes.
It's that first step.
Yes, because the rest will follow. What I mean, like, because obviously once you did the clean and then you have like the jerk, I have to focus on the clean. If I'm already worried about the jerk, I'm going to screw up my clean. Yeah. And I might lose the whole lift just because I screwed up the good thing I can do right now. Because if I've been suffering with my jerks because of, I don't know, maybe shoulder pain or wrist pain, like I've been suffering a bit with my wrist lately, if I start to straight away think, you know, oh man, once I get to the jerk, my wrist might flare up, or I might have the wrong grip on my shoulders, you know, it's already telling your mind, listen, we're not going to even get there, so why do the clean right? And I might actually miss the clean because I'm not focused on it. So I go like clean first, focus on that. Once I finished my clean, then it's just the next step. What's the next step? Tighten the core, straight push, lock the elbows. Keep that. Go over and over and over again till you do it. Mm-hmm. And then the next step is slowly drop the bar. You're done. I can't think of all the things. It's like even when I coach, that's what I tell people. It's like people tell me, oh, because my jerk is horrible right now. And I go like, listen, you have to clean the bar before you can jerk the bar. So let's take it step by step. Let's focus on the clean. But the clean is good. Is it? Have you done it yet? No. Step by step. The rest will follow. Once you do the first step, then we look at the second step. Mm-hmm. Don't rush.
You mentioned quite your time, and I resonate with that because we have good workouts and we have less good workouts as everyone. So I work out as well, as you know, and the best workouts are, so I'm moving a step back. So there is this movement saying that you need to exercise in order to distress yourself, and that's good and that's true, very true. When you go to the gym and you try to think about your problems and try to solving them during the gym, you have a bad workout, at least for me, and don't end up solving the problem. But when you put the problems or issues that you have in your personal life on the side and just focusing on the workout that you're doing, after the workout you feel more refreshed and ready to solve or challenge those issues that you have.
I mean, some people think that you can like use your stress to like better yourself in what you're doing in training. I personally, obviously everyone has their own opinion, everyone has their own ways, but personally it doesn't work. Because if I think even if I'm going through a training session and I get a phone call or anything, it just puts me off track. And I suffer a lot from, I'm not shy to say, mental blocks. Mm-hmm. Sometimes a weight is easy for you to lift, but you'll start to pull it off the floor and your brain just shuts off. You, for example, if it's like a snatch, you just do the first bit of the dead pull and you just get stuck. And you know you can lift it, you know it's light, but you can't just like go underneath the bar. It's like your brain completely freezes. And it's frustrating and it's stressful because we're talking about something that you should enjoy. This is something that normally helps you relax after a stressful day at work. And then this happens. So until you actually learn how to just grab all your stuff, pack them in a bag, put them on the side, let's focus on the training session. Let's just enjoy that. Then once the training session is back, believe it or not, even if you grab that bag full of stuff again, all that stress, all that problems at work, even the bag itself is going to feel lighter.
Very true.
That's my way of trying to process things. Does it work every time? Definitely not. All right, I'm not going to say that every training session is good or majority of the training sessions are good. Oh, far from it. I mean, I don't like to sugarcoat things. The reality is that with life itself, I mean, the majority of things are going to be not so good.
Yeah.
You know, problems are there every day. You know, if it's not just work, it's family, home, I don't know, girlfriend, anything. I mean, could be a car problem on the way to the gym. You know,
Sometimes
it's
just a message that you don't understand in the wrong way. Sometimes a comment on social media
puts you off.
Anything.
It puts you off.
And it does affect. So as much as I can, I don't look at my phone while I'm working out unless it's the stopwatch or it's the training app or whatever I need to use to get the workout in. If I see something that for some reason I don't like, and I tend to be quite emotional during the workout because sometimes you're pushing extra hard to even get the workout in. Sometimes you don't really feel like doing the extra work. So earlier I mentioned that I don't really enjoy leg day, so I have to really push myself to do a certain type of workout. Or there is a particular exercise that I don't enjoy, but I have to do anyway. So not every workout is super enjoyable, and you have.
And normally it's the stuff you don't like that you need to work the most on.
For sure.
If you like it, it must be that you're good at it. So, yeah. I mean, the worst stuff is the stuff you need to work the most in.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know what you're saying. It's like a trail. If you just like even tilt a bit off the trail, you might lose it completely. So you're not always in a good mood. You're not always motivated to go to the training session. It's not easy. I mean, if I tell you that I wake up pumped and ready to train every day, it would be the biggest lie. I'd like to be fully pumped and ready to go every day, motivated, but there comes the days that I don't even want to get out of bed, let alone get out of bed, go to work, and then after work I have a whole training session, and it's a heavy session. I just want to go home. But it's that training session that you manage to push through it, do everything you have to, and you do it right, you don't cut shortcuts. That is the most beneficial training session, I would say.
And you know, after you finish the workout, you would know. And sometimes, happens to me, this is more psychological, sometimes you know that you need to get this workout in so you can feel better. Sometimes it feels like you're going to therapy, literally.
It does. I would say with stuff I went through in the past, I mean, weightlifting was my therapy. I mean, it's we've all been through COVID. I did not miss a session. It was the most depressing training I ever did in my life, because I used to train in my garage alone. I had the equipment lended from the national team, and I used to train alone in my garage. It was horrible. Some days, okay, it's nice, you get hyped up, whatever. But the majority of but but the fact is that you're spending a whole day not meeting anyone, not talking to anyone. And even when I go to my garage, since it's underground, I don't get even a reception, so literally even more isolated. And you have to do a 2-hour session sometimes, and if you don't have a playlist saved, why? I don't have Wi-Fi in my garage, so finished my playlist, restart the same playlist, or else just lift in silence. It happened to me once. I'm not gonna stop from training to go back up to my house, download music and go down, train without the music. Is it easy? Oh no. Did I think of quitting weightlifting back then? Went plenty of times, but I kept saying this. He said once this goes through, I'm gonna get to go abroad again. I'm gonna compete, meet other athletes, go to different countries again, and that is the best feeling. Keeps you motivated.
It's easy to quit.
Very easy. I think it is one of the easiest things to do. The temptation of quitting is easy, the bad stuff are the easiest things to do normally. Mm-hmm. But it's I wouldn't say the good stuff, it's not persisting. I would say it's the maintaining, the regular thing. It's the consistency that is the most hard thing. Because okay, you may train 2-3 times a week. Is it enough? No. If you want to reach a certain level, it depends what you want. If you just want to train to keep healthy 2-3 times a week, it's enough. If you want to compete, 2-3 times is not enough. And it's not just enough to just go in the gym, get the barbell and go. You need to have a proper warm-up, proper build-up of the weight. The session, when you read our sessions are written down in a small paragraph. Why? It tells you have 4 sets of 2 reps, snatch at 100, 2 sets of 1 rep at 105, and you go oh, that's not a lot. But it's the build-up to that. You need to warm up your shoulders, warm up your legs, hip mobility, empty barbell, slowly go up in weight, slowly till you reach the sets, and then you start working on the sets. Sometimes it's a horrible day and you need to, change the whole program. Your body sometimes, if my max rep is 125 and I'm doing 100 and the 100 is feeling like 150, like today, I've had a hard day. I'm not a professional full-time athlete. I have a job. I have my mortgage, So I have to scale it down. I have to sometimes listen to my body. And that's the difference. Mm-hmm. It is the difference between actually listening to your body and regulate what you're lifting and being lazy and diminishing the amount of stuff you have to do because you're lazy. Because some people tell me, that's a good excuse. Well, for example, I spent a 12-hour shift. I had a problem at home and now I came here. So I haven't eaten properly. I haven't rested properly. And I came for the session. It's a heavy session. Am I going to do the heavy session? No. Would I like to do the heavy session? Most probably. Most of us love to go heavy. Yeah. But why? Injure yourself, sets yourself a bit back. So in your mind, sometimes you have to see whether what you're doing is because you're tired, because you're lazy, or you're tired because you're fatigued. Yeah. And sometimes the mind plays tricks on you, but it's a very particular fine line to play around with. But if you love what you do, at the end of the day, if you really, really work hard for it, you'll know what to do.
Have you ever injured yourself badly, Shaun?
Injured myself badly through weightlifting. I've had shoulder pains, I've had wrist pains. I did have a couple of fainting episodes. Yes.
After the lift?
So, for example, I mean, we were live there, obviously, so everyone saw it. Family freaked out here in Malta. My last clean and jerk got it badly, came up from the clean. You could see actually when I left the building, and I dropped the weight forward, and I just dropped like a log. It's a regular thing. I don't want to sound. It's a regular thing. It happens.
Yeah.
I had some wrist problems, so I was changing a bit the grip. What was happening is when I was racking the bar was literally slamming on top of me, takes the air out, you push all through, so whatever is left out of you to come up from the squat leaves out, and then you have the bar pressing against you, so you're not breathing well, and then obviously you pass out. Me as a person, I'm not going to drop the bar to shake it off. I'm going to keep trying to the end to try and salvage it. I mean, injuries, we always have something.
Yeah.
I would say I'm lucky enough that I didn't have any serious injuries. But yes, I've had minor injuries, needed physiotherapy. Physiotherapy is always needed along the way, not just for an injury, but recovery for your body. Obviously, you're giving your body weights to lift every day. Okay, we train a minimum of 5 times a week. I would say I've deducted a bit that. I'm trying to keep a very good 4 sessions a week, rather than trying to fit that extra 5th one and not getting the full potential out of it with work. But I try to keep those well good 4 to 5 sessions at least. 4 is the bare minimum. And the session would be, I'd say, a minimum of an hour and a half, not less. But injury-wise, I mean, we've always have something small. It would be nice to say clean slate.
You never seem to have injured yourself really bad. So
No, thankfully no.
What's your recovery protocol? Because rest is very important, as much as training, I would say, even if not higher.
I would say physiotherapy is most important. I have regular physio. Apart from that, sleep. Sleep is one of the most important thing, and it is one of the most thing that is we take for granted, and we take for granted because it's free.
It's free.
We really take sleep for granted because it's free. It's free. It's there whenever you want. And it is the best recovery you can give to your body. And I learned this because last competition, one of our coaches gave a small presentation, and that stuck to my head. And he said he did the PowerPoint presentation, the presentation on recovery, and he said that sleep is free. And I said, it is. It kind of is. And I go should I sleep more? If I look at my sleeping hours, if I look at my app and I see how many hours I sleep, I don't sleep enough. I know I don't sleep enough.
How many hours do you sleep? No judgment here, I will tell you my sleeping pattern.
I would say that I spent a large period of time, which was the 3 to 4 hour margin a night. All right, not something to be proud of. But so this is the thing. So I've started to try and get a minimum of 5 hours, and try to go more than 5 hours. But sometimes it's if I get that full nice 6-7 hours sleep, I say I woke up worse.
It's true.
And I go is this my body telling me it finally started to release all those oohs and pains out, and this is what I'm feeling the next morning? Because I wake up in the morning and it's like zombies waking up, and I go it's like my soul's coming out just to get out of bed, and I go how much did I sleep? And I check my app and I go like, oh, 7.5 hours. That's really good.
But
Why do I feel worse? But then you actually going through the day, you realize that you feel a bit better.
It's over time. It's the consistency over
It's the
time.
consistency of actually keeping the sleep.
This is very much related at the moment because I have a weekly journal. It's public. It's online, I'm saying this all the time now. And I think it was 4 weeks ago where I published I'm sleeping 3 hours every day, and I've been doing this for quite a while. As very much like you, I have a busy lifestyle. I train, so sleep is very important for me and for my body. So I said, okay, I'm on a mission to increase the sleep by 1 hour every week, and I got stuck at 5. This week, today is Friday, I slept 2 times 6 hours, and this is the 4th week of that, and I can feel that it's better. When you sleep, at least when I'm increasing my sleep between 5 and 6, I'm feeling much better. My mood is better, my energy levels is better, it's definitely better.
I do believe so because
But at first it was very tough because I was waking up worse.
I coach a class at 5:30 a.m. every day.
That's early.
And it's a group of mostly moms, women that obviously come to do the session before they start the day.
Yeah.
And for me is I do the class and then I go straight to work. And it's tough. First of all, I have the drive, so I have to at least leave home by 5 to get there on time, but even earlier. So I have to wake up at least at around 4:20, 4:30 maximum.
Yeah.
You know, wake up, at least like wash your face, change your clothes, get ready, leave the house, go down to the car, start. Half an hour will pass by like very fast. And I used to get there and I'll still be zombie mode, I'd say.
Yeah.
But even though I wake up way worse when I sleep more, by the time I get there, I'm a bit more lively. So maybe it is the body kind of when you wake up from a really long sleep, I feel like the body's like, since it's been literally exerting all the stress and pains out more because it has more time to do so, you feel way worse when you wake up, but then throughout the day you'll feel better.
Yeah.
I mean, if that is not the case, I'm just gonna stick to that and believe that for now.
Yeah.
I do love sleep, but I am not the kind of guy that is going to stay in bed.
Because that's the thing, because you want to be productive.
I can't.
Yes,
I
yes.
mean, if I take a day off and I have completely no plans at all, I won't manage to stay in bed. First of all, I have been all my life waking up early, so if I don't have an alarm, I'll still open my eyes sometime between 5 and 5:45. My eyes will automatically open. So I'm like awake and I look at the time and I go like, sometimes I open my calendar and I go like, I don't have anything, why am I awake?
Yeah.
And I'll fall back asleep, but I'll still wake up at around 7, 8. Sometimes I force myself, like stay more in bed, but it's close my eyes, sleep 15-20 minutes, wake up again.
It's worse.
It's worse. I can't. So I just say, you know what? I'd rather just get up and sit on the sofa and watch TV because I can't stay in bed more. I can't manage to sleep. But I believe, well, rest-wise, I think sleep is well needed.
Yeah. I like it. Sleep is free.
Sleep is free.
Sleep is free. I'll use that as a motivation from me. Sleep is free. I don't need any physio.
Oh, no. Believe me, I still need it. I still need God, my physio. If I don't have him, sometimes it's like, he goes like, okay, what hurts? And I go like, well, he goes like, okay, what's the worst part that hurts? And I go like, okay, like my shoulder is the worst. He goes like, let's start from there. And it's well needed. Even if I'm going through a period where I don't have like injuries or pains or aches, a general service from a physio, making sure your mobility is on point, muscles are not sore, you don't have any strains. Sometimes a physio can catch something before it starts flaring up. So yes, I would say those are my two main. Obviously, you have the important basic stuff, which is a good warm-up, the good stretching after. Do I do them every time? Warm-up, believe me, I do not skip it now. If I don't warm up properly before, I can't lift properly. I'm not as young as I used to be. I need my good warm-up. And it's a lot of band work, mobility. I've started doing minimum 30 minutes.
Okay.
Foam roller, bands. If I need a proper warm-up, I'll pre-comp back in Luxembourg, I did a 45-minute warm-up. Just a bit of foam roller on my quads, then some band work, then foam roller on your back, some more band work, some stretching, using the barbell as like to put pressure alongside certain muscles that normally get tense more than others. Well needed.
Yeah.
Well needed. Do I stretch after? 9 out of 10 I don't. I have to be honest. I can't lie. Should I?
Yeah.
Most definitely. But I don't. Sometimes I've nibbled away from my training session to introduce more the warm-up. My reasoning might not be agreed by most people, but I can't nibble anymore from the session to put in the stretching after. Sometimes the session takes long and I just need to pack my stuff and leave. You still gotta go home, you still got to cook, you still got to clean, I finish work at 4, get to the gym by 4:30, half an hour warm-up, 1-2 hour session, that's already 7. I go home by 7:30, have a shower, change, start cooking, eat by what time? Do I eat late? I do. Is it good? Not really, but that's my life, unfortunately. I don't want to do like pre-packed dinners, or buy dinner every time just to eat at 7 instead of 8:30, 9.
How do you reward yourself, Shaun, after a competition like you just come from?
Food. I love food. I would say easily food.
What type of food do you go to then?
Oof. When it comes down to it, I eat practically anything. There's just really a few items that I really do not like, and they're simple. It's liver and licorice.
Okay.
I don't eat them completely. I don't like them. Other than that, I'll eat anything. But obviously, if you have to tell me like, what is your favorite, cheat meal? Oof. If I'm cooking, nice plate of pasta. Nice, really nice red sauce, bacon, amatriciana style pasta. If I'm buying, it depends. Sometimes it's pizza, sometimes it's a nice burger. It depends. It's a cheat meal. But if I'm gonna go all the way, I go big or go home,
Yeah.
I'm not the one to go for a cheeseburger. I'm gonna go for the hash brown, bacon, egg, cheese, double burger then.
The biggest one.
Biggest one, for sure, always.
But it's good that you're rewarding yourself because you in order to prep yourself for a competition, you go through a lot. There's a lot of sacrifices. You mentioned it's very time consuming. You have to be consistent throughout. So for one day, you have to train like 6 months to prep yourself for that competition.
And that's I would say it's a bit cruel, but obviously that's the sport. You're spending, 2 months of training and like pains and aches and muscle soreness and all that just for those 3 lifts, because you have 3 attempts at snatch, 3 attempts of clean and jerk. do you get bad days? Sometimes I'm in a training session where if my max is 150, I'm missing my 90. What's my 90? My 90 is like easy warm-up. But sometimes it's just a bad day. So imagine having that bad day on your comp day.
Yeah.
And it sucks. But you have to... will it hurt? It will hurt a lot. I will admittedly say, will I cry? I will probably cry my eyes out. Because to train all that and then it comes out a bad day on comp day, it hurts. But it's something that might happen. You have to be well prepared for it. Well open to it.
How do you prep yourself mentally for such a thing?
I don't prep myself for it because I don't want to think about it. Because I believe if you think about it, if I'm gonna try and mentally prep for it, I'm just like serving it to myself on a silver platter. So I don't. I did once. We say like you fail your total. So if you miss either all your 3 snatches or all your 3 clean and jerks, you need one of each at least to get a total. That is what counts. So if you miss either 3 or either 3, you don't get your total. And I've had my last time that it ever happened to me, it was, I think, almost around a year ago. It was a bit of a rough patch for me, and that was like the cherry on top of the cake. And it hit me hard, because I remember I literally, I left the gym, I just went outside, it's hot, sunny, and I cried my eyes out. And I said, couldn't I get just like the competition, even if I don't do good? I don't get my best results, but can't I just at least be participating in it? Because that is literally, you didn't get your total, you're kind of out, And afterwards, I remember I said I'm gonna take a week off training. And obviously the next day you're really sore. The day after I was still sore but getting better. And on the third day I was I'm just gonna go to the gym, just gonna see who's there, just say hello. Took my bag, took my stuff, and I got there. I said, I'll just do some squats. And I started to do some squats. And I did some pulls. Part of the program, totally not, because normally you finish with your squats or your pulls. But, I want to keep it simple. I want to move around a bit. And I remember I just went a bit heavy-ish. And the fatigue of afterwards actually made me feel better. I was still a bit sore from the comp, but actually squatting and going home with my legs dead and my lower back dead, having done dead pulls and squats. And I said, I'll just follow the program tomorrow. And I got back in the loop straight away. It's not easy failing. It's not easy, especially when you work hard for something. I'm not going to say it's not easy to lose, because winning itself, it's very rare. When it happens, it's amazing. I mean, I've done good in comps where I won gold, locally and abroad. It's the feeling is amazing. I've never done any drugs in my life, but I would say it's the best ever drug. I mean, the adrenaline, the rush, the feeling inside your mind, inside your heart, it's simply amazing. But to get that one win, damn, you have to go through a lot of losses. But I believe it's maybe it's a bit cliche. You get all these motivational videos that say the same thing, but it's you pushing through all those losses, all those failures, all those hard-working days that maybe you'll get there to that one win. Because as motivational from all the videos you might see, that it sounds like if you're just gonna stop because you're gonna say, oh, God knows whenever I'll get the win, for sure you're not gonna get it. But if you keep trying and trying and trying and trying and trying, there is still the possibility of getting that chance. But you have to keep trying. Is it easy? No. And as I always say, if it's easy, everyone would do it. So you have to keep pushing hard. So do I think about the failure? At the very back of my mind, is there fear for it? Yes, there is. But I don't think about it. I just try to do my best every time, no matter how tired I am, no matter how exhausted I am. Like today, I trained this morning and I told my friend, I said, like, my wrist is still killing me. I said, my groin is a bit better. I said, but my wrist is still aching. And he said, like, it's funny how, like, you're trying to train and push through your injuries. And I go, like, what should I do? He said, it's the wrist. Should I just squat and deadlift only? He said, no presses, no cleans, no snatches. Said, I have to try. Go around it, change the grip, wrap your wrist. You know, as long as you're not pushing to the point where you're going to do permanent damage or, like, too much damage, you have to work through it. You have to push through it. But yeah, I don't think I avoid thinking about the failure of it. I avoid it at all costs, because if it gets stuck in your head, it's gonna ruin your path.
And there's no plan B. There's only plan A. If it fails,
then we'll see. Then we'll see. And as it happened before, I failed. I cried. I got back up. I started again. Work for the next one.
What keeps you coming back for more?
I think it's not just the love of the sport. It's, how can I say, it's the love towards myself. You know, I don't want to say I'm not good in anything, but I'm okay in this. You know, I'm no person that's gonna go out there and go like, I'm the best, I'm the number one. No, but I'm okay in it. I do quite well. I enjoy it a lot. So why not? There's so much bad stuff out there. There's so many bad things going on non-stop. It's a good thing, and I wouldn't say I need that person to come up to me and go, I saw your video on Instagram. You're lifting pretty good. How are you doing? Good. Because my answer is going to be always different. Right now I'm not like, I'm hardly ever like happy with my results. I'm always wanting more. I mean, there was one particular competition where I said like, oh my God, this was my best competition. I did like, in this competition, I did like the best I could. But even that competition, I missed one lift. And in the back of my mind, I go like, if only I had that lift. The best result I ever did, but still in the back of my mind, it's just that one lift I missed. And it's something that stays in your mind that keeps you wanting to go for more. And I think it's even a nice mentality to pass down, not just if I ever have kids in the future, but even to just the people around me. I do believe we need to be always a bit hungry for more, especially when it's something like sports. You know, it's not a bad thing. I'm not talking about going out partying. It's about sports, you know, about keeping healthy, about training. You know, it's something amazing. Even the community itself, you know, I mean, the people I train with, I have the same 3 to 4 people I train with. They're like my family. I train with them every day. You know, we message each other, listen, who's training today? Like, is anyone training today? If I have options of training, morning and the evening. Morning is more comfortable for me, But evening, the rest of the group is there. I'm going to go in the evening.
Yeah. Because that sense of community.
And it's weightlifting. I wouldn't say it's a lonely sport, but it's a one-man sport. It's one-man sport. Even though we compete as a team, you're doing something by yourself on the platform. When you're there going through your lift, it's just you and the barbell. That's it. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's always trying to better yourself. It's always like, as long as you're within the guidelines, meaning I can't just wake up one day and just go put 200 kilos on the bar and I go for a clean and jerk. Of course, this is going to happen. I'm not crazy. But there was a saying written once, because I at one time I was stuck with the same weight and I couldn't just try. If my 120 was the best, I get to 120 and that's it. I was scared to go 121. And then one day, it was feeling good, and just my friend just put 2.5 on one side, just went for it, and it's I did it 5 kilos more. It's it was technically good, you were on point, just go for more. You're still technically good. As long as you're technically good, you're safe, you're doing a good rep, go for more. And I remember it was jerks at the national team gym, and back then I had a 125 jerk, and on that day I just went into 140. Boom. And I said, that felt good. And a couple of weeks, probably months later, I read something and it said, the burden of never trying will be heavier than the barbell will ever be. Because then I sat down and I said, what if I didn't put those extra 5 kilos? Probably my training wouldn't suck as much, because now I have my 1 rep max is 140. So every time I'm going to do my programming and I do percentages, everything is at least 15 kilos percentage-wise heavier. It's going to suck more. It's going to be way more painful, PRs are amazing, but at the end of the day, when it comes to the programming of after the PR, it's going to hurt. But, yes, I mean,
failure is easier than not ever trying sometimes.
Exactly.
Not sometimes, I think.
Always. It's way easier to just say, I'm not feeling it. I mean, for me, my friends are there actually for the opposite. Why? Because sometimes we're close to a competition, you're feeling good, and I'm doing, for example, I don't know, clean and jerks, and I go 150 felt good today. And they go Shaun, you're close to a comp, don't go heavier. And I go I can. And they go we know you can. Yeah. We know you can, but so we've come to a point where we actually try to hold back from going a step further, but that's only just to keep that step further for the competition. So mindset-wise, I'd say that is the strong mentality, which is the good part of it. There are the other times where you'd get to a certain weight and sometimes you can't even lift the bar off the floor. You go, you tighten, you want to lift, and you can't. And it feels like the barbell stuck to the ground. And mentally, you're just blocked. You can't shake it off. You can't. And you try to go down in weight, go back up again, and still sometimes, and I see it when I coach, some people have this mental blocks when they know if their maximum is 60, for example, and you say you have 61, they're gonna fail it. 99.9% I can guess it straight away. So sometimes to prove to them that they're stronger than they think, I play with their weights. I fluctuate their lifts. So I put them 5 kilos up, 3 kilos down, 5 kilos up, 3 kilos down, to get them to the point where they don't know how much I'm placing on the bar. They just have to go there, do their good lift, technically good, and that's it. And then when they start, they get to a certain point, I go you know what, that's it for today. And they go, okay. And I make them write everything on a diary. I'm a bit old school.
Yeah.
I make them get a diary, and they write everything they done for the day. And it's their own programming. And they go like, oh, so what they do? And I go like, oh, you did 55 double, 60 double, 65 double, 70 single. I did 70 single. Did I do 70 single? And I go like, yeah, count the barbells, 70. Oh my God, that's a PR. And I go like, I know. I know. I'm like your coach. I know what's your PR. I mean, but that shows us how the mind is way more powerful than we ever expect it to be.
It's way more powerful than we'd like it to be sometimes.
Exactly. It happened to me once in a competition where I did 100 kilo snatch in the warm-up area, and I had to go out for 103. And I went all out for it, and the 103 felt heavy. I did it. I managed to do the lift. I got a good lift, and I felt heavy. And I remember the coach came up to me. He goes like, oh, what is wrong with you? You smashed your 100 inside. This 103 literally almost killed you. It destroyed you. Where was all that power? And then one of the referees came up, and he goes like, listen, we need to talk to you. And he went outside, and he came back. As soon as he came back, he just hit me in my shoulder. And he goes like, you did 108. Good. Next lift. And I go like, what? He goes like, oh, they just made a bit of a mistake. They put an extra 2.5 and 2.5 on each side. So you did an extra 5 kilos on that. And I was I was so still in shock that my second lift was 111 and I missed it. Because I was still overthinking my previous lift. And then I managed to do the third lift, 111. But on the day, I had never even jumped more than 4 or 5 kilos between one lift and the other above 90. But on a comp day, close to my 1 rep max, I did an 8 kilo jump. I would never manage to do that in a normal training session. But why? My mind thought that was 103, pushed it through, and managed. I mean, will it would have happened if it was 123? Probably not. But still, there's a gap between what your mind is thinking when you can manage to switch off. And certain times, I think when I see, we were discussing before about, what's his name? David Goggins. It's managing to switch off that part of your brain where you have the doubts, where you have the thinking about what your day was about, and it's just focused on just pushing through what you want to do. And it's amazingly said, it's easier said, but when you come down to it, that is one of the hardest things ever. Because literally you're closing off everything and just and I see myself trying to do that, obviously, before a lift, when I repeat over and over again what I need to focus on. So I try to shut everything off. And sometimes I know I manage to do that, because when I try to think backwards at the lift and I go where was I even looking when I did the lift? I can't remember looking forward or looking at the people. All I remember is just the snatch. I did it. And I think is that those very small random times you manage to completely block everything out. It's not easy. Because distractions are easier.
For sure. To be in the zone.
I wish it was a physical,
yes,
switch it off. Mute everything out. It happens sometimes, and it's amazing because you can purely focus on it, but it's not that easy.
For sure.
It's not that easy.
Shaun, thank you for being part of the show. Thank you for sharing your passions. I can see that you're very passionate about the sport, and I'm really happy for you that you found the place where you belong. Because at one point in the conversation, you told me that, well, and you told everyone in reality, that you might not be good at many things, but you feel that you're really good at this one thing. So I'm really happy for you that you found a place where you belong.
No, I truly love it. And I love even sharing it, I mean, with others, not just like even by talking about it, even by coaching it. I mean, in general, I just love the sport itself. Changed a bit my life, quite a bit.
Not a bit. All your life, it seems. So thank you once again, Shaun, for being here.
No, thank you for having me.